Harrison and I had been together 3 years. At first, it was the kind of love story people envied. He was charming, funny, always the life of the party. When I brought him home, even my dad, who never trusted anyone, softened. My dad owns a distribution company. He worked his way up from nothing, and he's always been protective of me. But Harrison, he smiled. He shook my dad's hand. He made jokes about wanting to take care of me. My dad was impressed. When Harrison's dad lost his job last year, I begged my dad to help. He gave Harrison a position in his company, paying him more than he deserved. My dad even covered his rent when he fell behind. I thought we were building a future together. I thought Harrison was grateful. My 26th birthday was supposed to be special. Harrison picked the restaurant. Not my favorite, but I didn't care. He actually remembered my birthday this year, and that felt like enough. Rebecca and Aleliana, my 2 best friends, were there too. We laughed, ordered appetizers, clinked glasses. Harrison kept disappearing to the bathroom every 15 minutes. I didn't think much of it at first, but then Rebecca's phone lit up. I caught her scrolling, her face going pale. She leaned over to show Aleliana, and they both froze. I asked what was wrong. Rebecca shoved her phone away so fast it nearly fell off the table. It's nothing. Just some stupid drama on social media. Harrison walked back in at that exact moment, all smiles. He kissed me on the cheek, called me his birthday girl, posed us for selfies. On Instagram, he called me my world. But something in the way Rebecca had looked at her phone stuck with me all night. On the way back to Harrison's apartment, I couldn't stop thinking about it. About his weird distance lately. About the canceled plans. About how his phone never left his hand. Harrison had once been my safe place, but now he felt like a stranger I was desperately trying to keep. When we got back, he said he had a special birthday surprise. I told him I was tired. He snapped, called me ungrateful. Eventually, he fell asleep, while I lay awake staring at the ceiling. That's when I texted Rebecca. "Show me what you saw." Her reply came back fast, but hesitant. "Are you sure?" "It's bad." My hands shook as I typed back, "Just show me." A link appeared on my screen. My heart pounded as I tapped it. The account was under a fake name. A TikTok account Harrison swore didn't exist. He'd laughed at the app, said it was for kids, but there it was. A whole series called Rating My Girlfriend's Friends. 6 videos. One for Rebecca. One for Aleliana. And the latest one? With my face in the thumbnail, a big red X over it, I pressed play, and there it was. His voice. His laughter. His betrayal broadcast to the world. He mocked me, tore me apart, called me names I'd never forget. Fat, ugly, delusional. He said he was only with me because of my dad's money. I scrolled through the comments. They were worse. Strangers calling me a whale. His friends telling him to leave me. And Harrison had liked their comments, replied with laughing emojis. The video had 47,000 views. 47,000 people had watched him humiliate me. I sat there in the dark, my phone glowing in my hand, tears streaming down my face. And right next to me, Harrison slept soundly. Peaceful. Like he hadn't just destroyed me for clout. I thought about waking him up. Screaming. Throwing his phone at his head. But then I realized something. If I confronted him right then, he'd just deny it. Call it a joke. Say I was overreacting. Somehow, I'd end up feeling guilty while he walked away untouched. No, that wasn't enough, because the videos weren't just cruel. They weren't just lies. They were proof. Proof he had never loved me. Proof he'd used me. Proof that my dad's kindness, my love, my trust, it all meant nothing to him. And if Harrison thought he could just laugh at me, use me, and move on, he had no idea who he was dealing with. The next morning, I made him breakfast. Kissed him goodbye, pretended nothing was wrong, but inside I had already decided I wasn't going to just dump him. I wasn't going to just cry and move on. I was going to make Harrison regret every single word he ever said about me, and I was going to do it my way. That's when I called Rebecca and Aleliana. I told them I'd seen everything, and I told them I wasn't just going to break up with him, I was going to destroy him. The morning after my birthday, I woke up next to Harrison, and for the first time in 3 years, I didn't feel love. I felt disgust. He stretched, yawned, and kissed my forehead like nothing had happened. Like he wasn't the star of a TikTok series built on mocking me. I forced a smile, handed him his coffee, and pretended everything was fine. But inside, I had already declared war. The second Harrison left for work, I dialed Rebecca and Aleliana. They picked up on speaker, voices tight with worry. "I saw it," I said. My voice cracked. "I saw the videos." There was silence. Then Rebecca whispered, "I didn't want to show you on your birthday." "I'm so sorry." "Don't be sorry," I snapped. "Be angry." "Because I'm done crying." "I'm done letting him win." Liliana's tone shifted. "What are you thinking?" I stared at myself in the mirror, mascara smudged from last night's tears. "I'm thinking, if Harrison wanted to make a show out of me, then fine. Let's make this a show he'll never forget." I spent that whole day digging through his online life. I knew his passwords. He'd given them to me once when he wanted me to check his email. He probably forgot I still remembered. Within an hour, I had everything. His Instagram DMs where he flirted with random girls. His TikTok drafts, full of cruel jokes about me that hadn't even been posted yet. His messages to his friends bragging about how easy it was to get money from my dad. And then I found something else. A group chat named The Boys. Inside, Harrison had posted screenshots of my bank transfers to him. He told them I was his walking ATM. He even joked that I was too dumb to notice. My hands shook with rage. But I wasn't going to scream. Not yet. Instead, I screenshotted everything. Every cruel word. Every lie. Every betrayal. That evening, I went to my parents' house. My dad noticed the moment I walked in. "What's wrong, sweetheart?" I slid my phone across the table. "Read it," my mom gasped halfway through. My dad's jaw tightened. By the time he put the phone down, his face was red with fury. "He used us," my dad muttered. "After everything I did for him." "Exactly," I said. "And I'm not just going to leave him. I want him to feel what I felt. I want him to lose everything." For a moment, I thought my dad would tell me to be the bigger person. But instead, he nodded slowly. "If you're serious about this, then we'll do it properly. No yelling, no drama. We'll hit him where it hurts most." And just like that, my dad was on my side. The next step was timing. Harrison's birthday was 2 weeks away. He'd been bragging about a big party, expecting my dad to foot the bill. That was going to be the stage for his downfall. I told Rebecca and Aleliana the plan over coffee. They listened, eyes wide, then leaned in with matching smirks. Rebecca said, "So, you're basically planning to humiliate him at his own birthday?" "Not just humiliate him," I said. "Expose him. To everyone. His friends. His family. His coworkers. He wanted an audience. Let's give him one." Step 1 was financial. My dad pulled Harrison off the payroll quietly. He didn't fire him outright, not yet. He just redirected the paychecks into a frozen account. Step 2 was social. I created a fake TikTok account and started leaking Harrison's drafts, one at a time. Not enough to give away everything, but enough to stir rumors. People started commenting things like, "Yo, isn't this about his girlfriend?" And "This guy's a clown." Step 3 was personal. I acted normal around Harrison. I laughed at his jokes. I kissed him goodnight, all while knowing the countdown had already started. But then Harrison almost ruined it. One night, a week before his birthday, he stumbled in drunk. He reeked of alcohol and perfume. My stomach turned, but I kept my voice calm. "Rough night?" I asked. He laughed. "Went out with the boys. Met a couple girls." He winked. "Don't worry, babe. You're still my number one." I forced a smile even as my heart shattered again. Because in that moment, I knew my plan wasn't just about revenge anymore. It was about survival. If I didn't take him down, he'd keep using me. Keep humiliating me. Keep destroying me piece by piece. I couldn't let that happen. The night before Harrison's birthday, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling again. Just like the night I found the videos. But this time, I wasn't crying. This time, I was ready. In less than 24 hours, the mask Harrison had worn for 3 years would shatter. His friends would see the real him. His family would see the real him. And the internet that he loved so much would see the real him. I closed my eyes and whispered to myself, "Tomorrow it's my turn." And that's exactly what happened. Because on the night of Harrison's birthday party, in front of everyone he cared about, I pressed play on a video. Not just any video. The video that ended Harrison's perfect little show. Forever. Harrison's birthday landed on a Saturday night, and of course, he wanted it to be the party of the year. He bragged for weeks about how it would be packed, about the expensive liquor, about the VIP section he reserved at one of the nicest lounges in town. What Harrison didn't know was that every single person there would soon see him for who he really was. My dad had quietly pulled strings to make sure the venue was ours, not his. Harrison thought he'd booked it himself, but the credit card he gave them had already been declined. My dad stepped in behind the scenes, paid for everything, and told the manager, "Don't tell Harrison. Just send the bill to me. My daughter has plans." So when Harrison strutted in that night, all smiles and arrogance, he had no idea that the entire room was a stage, and I was the director. The music was loud, people were dancing, drinks were flowing. Harrison was in his element, hugging friends, making toasts, soaking up the attention. I played my part perfectly. I clung to his arm, kissed his cheek, smiled for the pictures. I looked like the doting girlfriend, the supportive partner, the woman who was lucky to have him. Inside, though, I felt like a lion pacing in a cage, waiting for the right moment to strike. Rebecca and Liliana were there too, sitting near the DJ booth, giving me reassuring nods. My dad was in the back, quiet but watchful, ready in case anything went wrong. Around 10 p.m., Harrison grabbed the mic. "Ladies and gentlemen," he shouted, already tipsy, "tonight we celebrate me, the man, the myth, the legend." The crowd cheered, half amused, half rolling their eyes. "And of course," he continued, pulling me close, "I couldn't do it without my girlfriend. She's been my rock. My #1 supporter. Give it up for her, everybody." People clapped. Some even whistled. And in that moment, I wanted to scream. Because I knew what he'd really said about me behind closed doors. But instead of screaming, I smiled sweetly, kissed his cheek, and whispered, "Happy birthday, babe." And then I slipped away toward the DJ booth. The lights dimmed. The music stopped. The DJ handed me the O cable and gave me a subtle nod. "Hey, hey," Harrison shouted, confused. "What's going on?" I tapped the mic. My voice shook at first, but then it grew steadier. "Hi, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Harrison's girlfriend. Or at least, I was," gasps rippled through the crowd. Harrison laughed nervously. "Babe, what are you doing?" "I just wanted to give him a special birthday gift," I said. Something straight from the heart. "So let's all watch together." And with that, I pressed play. The screen behind the DJ lit up. Harrison's TikTok videos started rolling. First, the ones of Rebecca and Liliana. Him rating them, mocking them, calling them names. The crowd shifted uncomfortably. People whispered. Then came the big one. The video of me. Harrison's voice filled the room. "This is my girlfriend. Fat, ugly, delusional. Only reason I'm with her is her dad's money." Laughter from strangers online echoed through the speakers, along with the comments he'd liked and replied to. The room went silent. I stood there, staring at the screen, my arms crossed. My face was calm, but inside my heart was racing, and then the final part played, the screenshots. His DMs, his group chat. Him calling me his walking ATM, him bragging about cheating, him laughing about how pathetic I was. The crowd erupted. Gasps, shouts, even some boos. Harrison's face turned pale. He stumbled forward, grabbing the mic. It's not what it looks like. Babe, you don't understand, they're jokes." Just jokes. The crowd wasn't buying it. His own friends looked disgusted. One guy in the back shouted, "You're a piece of trash, man!" Another girl muttered loud enough for everyone to hear, "I can't believe I wasted time on you." Rebecca stood up and yelled, "You think humiliating women is funny? You think using people is funny?" People clapped. Some even started recording on their phones. Harrison's perfect night had turned into a nightmare, and every second was being documented. I stepped back up to the mic. My hands weren't shaking anymore. "You wanted an audience, Harrison. You wanted to make me a joke. Well, congratulations. Everyone sees the truth now. No more lies. No more using me. No more using my family." I turned toward him. His eyes were wide, his mouth opening and closing like he couldn't find the words. "And one last thing," I said, my voice steady. "My dad? He's the one who paid for this party, not you. Because your credit card declined." "Just like you!" The crowd gasped again, then laughter broke out. Real mocking laughter. And for once, it wasn't directed at me. Harrison tried to storm out, but people blocked his way, jeering, recording him. His friends abandoned him. Even his own cousin shook his head and muttered, "You're done." Bro. He finally shoved his way outside, humiliated. His perfect birthday ruined. I stood there, breathing heavily as the crowd slowly turned back to me. People clapped. Some hugged me. Rebecca and Aleliana ran up, tears in their eyes, and pulled me into a group hug. For the first time in months, I felt light, free. Later that night, when the party ended, I walked out into the cool night air. My dad was waiting by the car. He opened the door for me and said softly, "I'm proud of you." "You stood tall," I smiled, though my chest ached. "It still hurts," I admitted. "It will," he said. "But you took your power back. That's what matters." As we drove away, I glanced at my phone. Notifications were blowing up. People posting clips of the reveal, sharing it, commenting things like, "She's a queen," and "This guy deserved it." Harrison had always wanted to go viral. And thanks to me, he finally did, just not the way he planned. But here's the thing. Humiliating Harrison at his birthday was only the beginning, because the next day I found out he wasn't just cruel. He wasn't just unfaithful. He was hiding something even bigger, something that could ruin more lives than mine, and I had to decide, was I willing to take him down completely? When I woke up the next morning, my phone was buzzing nonstop. Messages, missed calls, notifications. Clips of the birthday party reveal had already spread. The internet wasn't kind to Harrison. People called him a fraud, a loser, a narcissist. Memes popped up with his face edited onto clowns. His fake TikTok account was flooded with comments exposing him. Rebecca texted, "He's done. He can't show his face anywhere." For a moment, I almost felt satisfied. Almost. But then my dad knocked on my door. His face was serious. "Sweetheart, we need to talk." We sat at the kitchen table. My dad opened a folder and slid it toward me. I did some digging into Harrison's work files after last night. Something didn't add up. Inside were invoices, receipts, and bank statements. My stomach twisted as I scanned them. Harrison hadn't just been lazy at the company. He'd been stealing thousands of dollars in fake expenses. Payments funneled into a separate account under his name. He had created ghost vendors, businesses that didn't even exist, just to siphon money out. "He's not just a liar," my dad said grimly. "He's a thief." I felt my chest tighten. Everything I'd endured, the humiliation, the cheating, the mockery, it was bad enough. But now I realized Harrison had been bleeding my family dry too. And if my dad hadn't caught it, who knows how far he would have gone. I sat there in silence, the papers shaking in my hands. Part of me wanted to call the police immediately. To watch Harrison get hauled away in handcuffs. To see him rot in a cell. But another part of me hesitated, because I knew if this went public, it wouldn't just hurt Harrison. It could hurt my dad's company. Clients would lose trust. People would gossip, and me? I'd become the girl whose boyfriend robbed her family. I whispered, "So what do we do?" My dad leaned back, arms crossed. "That depends on how far you're willing to go." That day, Harrison tried to call me 15 times. He left voicemails, each one more desperate than the last. "Babe, please, it was just jokes. You know I love you." "Listen, I was drunk when I said those things. Don't throw us away over this." "Fine. You want me to apologize? I'll do it. Just don't ruin my life." I deleted them all, but then he showed up at my apartment. His eyes were bloodshot, his voice hoarse. "You embarrassed me in front of everyone," he snapped. "Do you have any idea what you've done?" I stared at him coldly. "Do you have any idea what you've done?" He froze. "What are you talking about?" I didn't answer. I just shut the door in his face. Over the next week, Harrison's life unraveled. His friends cut him off. His boss, well, my dad fired him officially. His landlord threatened eviction. Even his own family stopped answering his calls after seeing the videos, but still, he didn't stop. He started showing up everywhere I went. At the coffee shop, at the gym, even outside my office building. Rebecca warned me, "He's getting desperate. Be careful." And she was right. Because desperate men don't think straight. One night, around midnight, I got a text from an unknown number. It was a photo. A screenshot of my dad's bank account. With money missing. Then a message. "You think you can ruin me? Watch what I do next." My blood ran cold. I called my dad immediately. He checked his accounts. The money wasn't gone, yet. Harrison was bluffing. But the fact that he had access at all was terrifying. That's when I knew silence wasn't an option anymore. This wasn't just about me. This was about protecting my family. The next morning, I went back to my dad's office. He looked at me with tired eyes. So, what's it going to be? I swallowed hard. We take him down completely. My dad nodded once. Then let's build the case. For the next week, we collected everything. The fraudulent invoices, the stolen money trail, the screenshots of his threats. Every piece of evidence, Rebecca and Liliana helped too. They documented the harassment, the stalking, the voicemails. We built a folder so thick it could crush him, and when it was ready, my dad made the call. It happened on a Thursday afternoon. Harrison was leaving his apartment, probably on his way to drink his misery away, when two officers approached. Neighbors watched from their balconies as Harrison was cuffed and shoved into the back of a police car. He shouted, begged, cursed. But it didn't matter, because this time, the show wasn't his. It was mine. That night, Rebecca, Liliana, and I sat in my living room with wine. We toasted, but my smile was weak. Why do I still feel empty? I whispered. Rebecca squeezed my hand. Because he broke you for a long time. Getting justice doesn't erase the pain overnight, Liliana added softly. But it does mean you can start healing. I nodded. They were right. For the first time in years, Harrison wasn't hanging over me. But deep down, I wondered, had I gone too far? Or had I finally gone far enough? And just when I thought it was over, that Harrison was gone for good, something happened that I didn't expect. Because while Harrison sat in a jail cell, someone else came knocking on my door, someone I never thought I'd see again. It was late evening when I heard it. A slow, steady knock. Not hurried, not desperate, just deliberate. My heart skipped. For a split second, I thought, Harrison? But he was behind bars. I opened the door. And there, standing in front of me, was someone I hadn't seen in years. My mother. You see, my mom had left when I was 16. She and my dad had a messy divorce. She moved states away, started a new life, and for years, we barely spoke. I had carried anger, resentment, questions that never got answered. And now here she was, standing in my doorway like a ghost from the past. She looked older, tired, but her eyes were soft. I heard about everything, she whispered. About him. About you. I froze, my emotions swirling. Why now? Why after all this time? Her voice cracked. Because I couldn't stay away knowing my daughter was in pain. We sat at my kitchen table, the same one where I'd once confronted my dad about Harrison's crimes. Only this time it wasn't about betrayal. It was about healing. I know I failed you, my mom admitted, tears sliding down her cheeks. I let my pride get in the way. I thought you'd be better off without me. But seeing you fight through all of this, alone, it made me realize I can't lose you completely. I wanted to stay angry. I wanted to push her away like I'd done for years. But as I looked at her, I saw something different. Regret. Real regret. And maybe... Love, I whispered. I don't know if I can forgive you yet. She nodded. Then let me earn it. Over the next few weeks, something shifted. Harrison's trial loomed, but for the first time in forever, I wasn't drowning in the drama. I was rebuilding. My dad and my mom, two people who hadn't been in the same room for almost a decade, actually sat down together. For me. To make sure Harrison's mess didn't define my life. Rebecca and Liliana never left my side. We went out, laughed, did things I hadn't allowed myself to do when I was trapped in Harrison's shadow. Slowly, piece by piece, I started remembering who I was before him. When the trial finally came, I sat in the courtroom, my parents on either side of me. Harrison shuffled in, thinner, rougher, but still trying to smirk like he had control. But he didn't. The evidence spoke louder than his arrogance. The fake invoices, the stolen funds, the threats. The jury didn't need long. Guilty. As they led him away, Harrison looked at me one last time. His eyes burned with rage, but I didn't flinch. For the first time ever, he was small to me, and I was free. Months passed. Life didn't magically become perfect, but it became mine. I poured my energy into my career. I traveled. I started painting again, something I'd abandoned during the relationship, and my mom, she kept her promise. She called, she showed up. She proved that maybe second chances were possible. One night, sitting with Rebecca and Liliana, we laughed until our stomachs hurt. And I realized something important. Harrison had taken years of my life, but he hadn't taken me. I had taken myself back. If you've ever been where I was, stuck with someone who breaks you down piece by piece, I want you to hear this. You are stronger than you think. The day you decide to stand up, to walk away, to reclaim your voice, that's the day you win. Revenge might feel satisfying in the moment, but healing is what lasts. And as for Harrison, he became nothing more than a cautionary tale. But me? I became the main character of my own life again. And that's how the man who once thought he owned me lost everything, while I gained back more than I ever imagined. So tell me, do you think people like Harrison ever really change? Or are they doomed to repeat their mistakes? Drop your thoughts in the comments.